Today's a WRAL weather alert day because of the rain. Here it comes. It's about to move into Moore County. I'll show you when the rain arrives where you are and how it'll affect your morning commute.
Durham police and city leaders are taking on public safety concerns head on. The police hiring event today and how they're working to address issues they say are dividing that community.
And new this morning, a warning about buying used cars in North Carolina. How the impact of Helene could lead to you being scammed at the car lot. We'll be sharing important information on that. But first, we have important weather information to tell you about. For the first time since Helene, we are going to get significant and widespread rain. And on top of that, we have chilly temperatures. Welcome to your Weather Alert Day. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along. Thanks for making this part of your routine. This is a little different, though, what's happening here. Hasn't happened in a while. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. That cold November rain on its way.
Oh, here it comes. We've been talking about it for a few days. And, some folks get the little chuckle when we say that. But it's not going to be very much fun today, that's for sure. We do have the leading edge of the rain now starting to get a little bit closer here to Moore County. So Southern Pines, Carthage, we'll give it another 15, 20 minutes. You're going to start to see that rain moving in. Of course, the next is going to be Chatham County, and then some of our northern counties start to see this line, just pretty straight line moving right on into our area. So it is a weather alert day. We're going to see up to an inch, maybe even more than that in a few places. Not likely to see any flooding, but everybody gets in on the soaking rain. We'll start to see that moving in here shortly. The Triangle area, probably going to see this closer to around 7 and then closer to 9 or 10 in some of our eastern counties. But it just keeps on coming all day long. It'll be steady for us. Eventually, as we get closer to the evening commute, the cold front pushes through. And with that, we could see a few scattered thunderstorms. Nothing likely to be severe, but we may have some wraparound rain for early tomorrow morning. So we may get a break during the evening and overnight and more rain tomorrow morning. It's also going to be really chilly. 46 degrees here in the Triangle area right now. Right now it's 39 in South Hill. We're not going to see anything frozen out of this, but we're going to hold it in the mid 40s for a good while and then into the low to mid 50s for this afternoon. So chilly rain for us all day long. Just keep that umbrella and a nice warm coat handy. We have a new tropical depression in the tropics, which we'll take a closer look at coming up, Ken.
This is with a nice warm coat and a little bit of soup. How about that? Listen, you're getting ready to head out this morning. Nothing but clear sailing on all of our major routes this morning, which is exactly what you want to hear this time of morning. Speaking of those major routes, here's I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Traffic in the westbound lanes definitely picking up this morning, but delay-free, of course. You're getting ready to head out. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. Also, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham. A couple more options for you.
Ken, thanks. The WRAL News team will keep you updated throughout the day as the rain moves through our area. Make sure to tune in during our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL. The Durham Police Department is recruiting new officers. It is holding a hiring event today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Durham Police Headquarters. And Kelsey, the department is looking to fill these vacancies as city leaders are trying to change the perception of crime in Durham.
Yes, Renee, right now there is a 27% vacancy rate for Durham police officers, and people can come here to DPD headquarters to get some more information about how they can serve. Now, although today's hiring event was previously scheduled, this comes after a series of shootings in Durham. 5 reported shootings in just 3 days. Our WRAL Investigates team looked into Durham crime trends. They researched how many charges have been filed against people who live in Durham between 2019 and 2024. Those numbers are up 110%. That's why officers may be needed now more than ever. And tonight's hiring event is scheduled for 6 o'clock, and you can come here in person or visit online. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
We have a live look right now at the U.S. Capitol building here, where Republicans will control both chambers of Congress beginning in January. The GOP has secured the 218 seats needed to control the House. Republicans reached that number after races in Arizona and California were called for GOP candidates yesterday. Republicans took control of the Senate from Democrats on election night.
President-elect Donald Trump's decision to choose Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General comes as a surprise to Republicans and Democrats alike. Gaetz resigned from the House yesterday after Trump's announcement. That effectively ends an ongoing investigation into Gates by the House Ethics Committee. It was set to release a report looking into allegations of sexual misconduct and drug abuse. The Justice Department launched its own investigation of Gates 3 years ago over allegations that he sexually trafficked a 17-year-old girl.
A search for an elderly woman who had been missing from Chatham County for weeks has now come to a sad ending. Deputies in Person County say the body of 83-year-old Alice Parsons has been found. Deputies told WRAL a farmer found Parsons' body in her car down an embankment right along Burlington Road in Hurdle Mills. Her family had reported her missing October 17th. Members of her church in Chatham County say the news is shocking, but it is important to give them closure.
Closure is really important to know and not have this go on and on and on. You know, this is the end.
The medical examiner's office still needs to positively identify the body.
This morning, we'll get more key information about the rate of inflation. The Producer Price Index report for October will be released at 8:30. It measures changes in the cost of doing business for companies, and it comes 24 hours after the release of the Consumer Price Index report, which examines changes in the cost of goods and services we pay for. It showed prices went up 0.2% from September.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we're taking a look at stock futures ahead of that report. You can see the market's all in positive territory right now. We've seen some wavering numbers since the election, but again this morning, things looking okay. That PPI report, of course, due out in a couple of hours. We've also learned that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is scheduled to speak today later in Dallas, Texas. We'll keep an eye on the markets. The market does open at 9:30.
Thanks for that, Michelle. New this morning, if you're looking to buy a used car, the Attorney General's office wants you to beware of vehicles that were damaged in the flooding by Helene. Many cars were damaged during the rain and floods in western North Carolina, and a consumer alert sent overnight warns dishonest car dealers may be trying to sell you one of those flood-damaged cars. Some signs that a car was flooded include silty carpets, electronic damage, foggy headlamps, and new items in the car that don't match the original interior design. The Attorney General's office reminds concerned buyers to request a pre-purchase inspection at a trusted mechanic.
There are thousands of extra security officers in Paris as France's national soccer team plays Israel today. Pro-Palestinian protesters gathered in Paris last night in response to a pro-Israel event that was held there. French authorities say today's soccer match is a high-risk event. Last week, a match between a Dutch team and an Israeli team in Amsterdam led to violence in the streets.
Free parking is coming to downtown Raleigh starting tomorrow. 5 parking decks will offer free 2-hour parking through February. That includes Blunt Street, City Center, Moore Square, Municipal, and Wilmington Street stations parking decks. It is part of a pilot program from the city of Raleigh to bring more visitors to the downtown area. They also hope it will boost the downtown economy. Yellow balloons will be placed outside the participating parking decks. The free 2-hour parking is available 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday.
A Wayne County man is dead after his car went off the road and overturned. Troopers say Michael Mazingo was driving on Tommy's Road yesterday afternoon when his car crossed the center line. They say he overcorrected, lost control, and hit the ditch. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt.
It's been quite a roll for the Carolina Hurricanes in the early going this season, but a tough one last night in their first trip to Salt Lake City. Marty Natchez scored the team's only goal as they played the NHL's newest team, the Utah Hockey Club. They also lost goaltender Peter Kochetkov to injury in the third period. That's when Utah scored 3 goals in the third on their way to a 4-1 win. The Canes will be back home Saturday night against Ottawa.
We are hearing from the father of a woman who was shot to death in Durham at a cookout.
He said, get up. He said, I got killed.
Just ahead, the move Devisa Lee's father said led to her being in Durham when she was killed.
Also, tonight will be a big one for astronaut and NC State alum Christina Cook. What we know about the honor she'll be getting at the North Carolina Awards.
And our chilly rain is about to move into the viewing area. Moore County, you're going to see it first. I'll show you when you could see the rain and how long it will stick around today. Coming up.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, and here comes that chilly November rain moving right in, almost into Moore County right now, and then the other western counties probably another 30 to 45 minutes. It is going to affect our commute for most of us this morning. You can see Carthage, Southern Pines about to head right into your area, so keep that umbrella handy. You're going to need it all day long, and it's going to be chilly too. 46 in Durham, 46 in Raleigh, and 47 in Fayetteville right now, and our temperatures will only climb into the low to mid 50s. A couple of spots in the 30s this morning. It's now just jumped to 41 in Lewisburg, but still 39 in South Hill. We're going to hold it there in the upper 30s. We're not going to see anything frozen out of this rain. But once it starts, it's going to be across the viewing area all the way through the evening commute. I'll show you how much we'll see total coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes, and once that weather rolls in, we'll be sure to be letting people know how it could affect their morning commute. Right now, we take this live look at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. Traffic is picking up just a bit, but delay-free in both directions. Similarly, all our major routes are delay-free here in Wake County and surrounding communities. If you're getting ready to head out this morning, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. And, of course, Renee, I'll have an update in the next few minutes.
We will see you then, Ken. Thank you. We are hearing from the father of a woman who was shot to death outside a cookout in Durham. Devisa Lee was killed last month near the fast food restaurant on South Miami Boulevard. And police say the shooting happened around 10:30 on the night of October 26th. Lee's father, David, lives in Miami, and he says his 29-year-old daughter recently moved to North Carolina because of a job transfer.
I mean, this is not, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Truly, I don't get it. I wish they would just left my daughter down here and just not let her go up there, no transfer.
And he says he wished he didn't let her go up there for the job transfer. No one has been charged in connection with Devisa Lee's death. Police say the shooting is still under investigation.
A man is charged with shooting into several homes in Edgecombe County with children inside those homes. Deshaun Smith is in the Edgecombe County Detention Center without bond. On October 4th, deputies were called to a house on Bobtail Court in Pine Tops. They found several bullet holes in that home. An adult and 5 children were inside at the time. While they were there, deputies heard shots coming from another home on Blackbird Lane in Macclesfield. That house had been hit by gunfire as well. An adult and 14-year-old were inside that house at the time.
Hundreds of people gathered at the University of Idaho to remember 4 students who were murdered there in 2022. Last night's vigil marked 2 years since those murders. Students and community members came together to honor the victims. The trial for Brian Koberger, the man accused of the killings, is set to start in August.
A hiring event at Fort Liberty will connect dozens of employers with military families today. There are thousands of open jobs currently, including local, national, and remote positions. Today's hiring event runs from 11 this morning until 3 in the afternoon at Iron Mike Conference Center on Rock Merritt Avenue. More than 60 employers will be there on site with job opportunities for veterans, military spouses, and members of the National Guard or Reserve.
Here's something you don't hear very often. A brush fire is burning in Manhattan. So it's on the northern end of the island in Inwood Hill Park. Dozens of firefighters are battling the flames. The terrain makes access difficult, so the fire department is spraying water from the Harlem River. No injuries have been reported, but New York Mayor Eric Adams is telling nearby residents to close their windows and avoid traveling in the area.
Today, Governor Roy Cooper will present 8 North Carolinians the state's highest civilian honor. The North Carolina Awards Banquet and Ceremony will be held at Marriott City Center, 7 p.m. All proceeds from this year's awards will go to the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund to help communities recover from Hurricane Helene. Among this year's award winners is NC State alum Christina Cook, who will be recognized for her scientific contributions. Cook spent 328 days in space from 2019 to 2020, the longest continuous time spent in space by a woman. Keep coming with those records. She is just such a treasure to have in our midst here locally. And Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We've talked a lot about her up in space. We haven't talked much about rain, certainly, especially lately, but we have it today.
We do, boy. Yeah, the last time we had any significant rain was way back at the end of September. So this is some much needed rain for us for sure. Notice here's the front edge of this, edging toward our viewing area. This, of course, Chatham County, of course, then we've got Alamance County. Down here, Moore County, that's where we're just starting to see that rain moving in. It hasn't quite made it to Southern Pines and Carthage and Bass just yet, but you're close. About 15 or 20 more minutes. It's likely to arrive in the triangle between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning. So after 7, we'll see it in the triangle in the areas, especially that we have a lot of traffic, and it could affect the morning commute for a lot of folks. We'll continue to see the rain on and off all day. Some thunderstorms are possible this evening as the cold front comes through. And of course, it is going to be significantly chilly today. Highs only in the low to mid 50s. And the last time we saw high temperatures that cool was way back into March, giving you a lot of history. This is stuff that we just haven't seen in quite some time. So you can see some purple showing up in the mountains. There's the potential for a little bit of wintry mix there, but we won't see that here, even though some of our temperatures up around Roxborough and South Hill have been in the upper 30s this morning. Nothing frozen for us here. At 7 a.m., you can see this first band of rain moving through, and then after that, it just keeps on coming. The steady rain is with us all day long. At 5 o'clock, the cold front starts to cross the area with a little heavier band of rain and possibly some isolated thunderstorms. By 10 or 11, it's pulling away. However, we will see some wraparound moisture behind this for tomorrow morning. So it could affect the commute for you if you're Raleigh north and east up until around 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow as well. So after that, we start to see partly cloudy skies and a nice warm up. This is going to bring us a good soaking rain. We could see as much as 1.25 inches to maybe even 1.5 inches. Some of our northeastern counties that see some of that tomorrow morning could maybe even total up to maybe 1.75 inches. So good looking rain, but we're not likely to see any of this flooding because it will happen over a fairly long period of time. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all on the dry side right now. But of course, that rain will roll in. It's going to be a messy morning commute, a messy evening commute, and a chilly day with temperatures in the 50s. We have Tropical Depression 19 moving west at 16 miles per hour, but the system is likely to interact with land there in Central America and the Yucatan Peninsula. And our main computer models are starting to downplay what could happen after that. It just may be over land too long to redevelop and have much of an impact in Florida next week is something we'll be watching closely for you. Speaking of next week, it looks much warmer next week, and we'll have a nice transition over the weekend with temperatures in the 60s, and then we're back into the 70s next week. So if you don't like this cold November rain, we've got something better coming.
It's North Carolina, of course. Something for everybody, Elizabeth. Thanks. And Elizabeth, ahead of that rain you just mentioned, really it's been trouble-free on all of our major roads in the Triangle and surrounding communities. And speaking of one of those major roads, here's a live look at I-87 and New Hope Road. Traffic has picked up just a little bit, but flowing nicely in both directions. If you're getting ready to head out this morning, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. We've got you covered, especially as the rain moves in. Of course, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham. A couple more options for you.
Ken, thank you. A man who saw a sign for a hate group hanging at the American Tobacco campus says he had to take action.
Didn't want to stand for that stuff. We wanted to get that down as soon as possible.
His message for the community after he helped tear down that banner.
Also, major development could be coming to Fuquay Arena. Details of this $3.5 million project that'll bring commercial and housing space.
Coming up on Today, Savannah and Hoda sit down with the stars of Wicked. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo talk about the movie ahead of its release next week.
You think they'll sing? I bet they'll sing.
I hope so.
Somebody's singing there.
Please.
And here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We're back with what's trending next.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Another big star is joining season 2 of Netflix's Wednesday.
Yeah, I think you'll know this name here. Ken Smith's now with what's trending here this morning. Ken.
Jeff and Renee, this is big. Lady Gaga we're talking about. She reportedly is joining the show's upcoming season. We don't know yet what role she'll play. The new season is set to premiere sometime next year.
Yeah, what role, how big that role will be in it. So Harley Quinn goes alongside Jenna Ortega there in Wednesday coming up. It's gone viral, that video right there.
And you're talking Lady Gaga?
Right?
Come on.
That's big.
Listen, here's something that's trending that can only happen down under in Australia. A couple came home late and found a koala in their bedroom. They say they think it got in through a doggy door.
Oh, looking for some eucalyptus leaves, maybe?
Possibly.
They look so cute, but I understand they're kind of temperamental.
Yeah, take a swipe at that, dude? Yeah.
Like, don't go near it, but it's like,
Not
what do I do?
He's about to blanket that thing and try to get him out of there. Goodness. Yeah, it's a bear. All right, let's not forget that.
That's true.
Ken, thanks for that. An Eastern North Carolina woman says her okra plant may be one of the tallest in the world.
Whoa.
Organic gardener Vicky Swindell named it Annie Okry.
That's great.
Isn't it? She's been growing it since April, and it is now over 17 feet tall.
I planted salvia for the pollinators. Maybe they liked that. I do a prayer of intent on everything that I plant. I lay hands on it and tell it that I'll nurture it if it nurtures me. And she's done that. A lot of water, a lot of love, and she's over 17 foot tall now.
With the pickling.
Yeah. Talk to the plant. She contacted Guinness World Records after discovering the current record is only 16 feet 4 inches. She's waiting for confirmation, but has blown past that record. The E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's is now connected with a North Carolina person's illness. Why McDonald's says this does not mean any restaurants in our state are unsafe.
And here comes that chilly rain starting to move into Warren County. I'll show you what time it moves into the rest of the viewing area and how it could affect the morning commute.
And moving over to this live look at the U.S. Capitol building right now, where lawmakers are reacting to President-elect Donald Trump's surprise pick of Matt Gaetz to be his attorney general. How that choice affects the House ethics investigation that's been looking into Gaetz for years.